Nice.
Hey, what's up guys? In today's video I'm going to talk about the Insta360 One X. I did a video about the drifter that it had before I even got the camera, which got a lot of views, some pros, some cons. Some people didn't like that I didn't have the actual camera. I have the camera now. I'm super pumped and excited about it. I've been doing a lot of testing with it, and I got 5 tips that are really going to help you out that I'm sure nobody's talking about on the internet, because everyone's already talked about the camera. So if you're watching this video, chances are you already own it. If you're on the fence about wondering about buying it, I highly recommend it. I think it's an awesome camera. So let's get right into it. Before I get right into it, I want to talk about a couple pros and cons. For me, the camera is everything I want it to be and then some. I think it's fantastic. It does everything really well. And there's some downsides to it, but in my 5 tips, I'm going to show you how to work around those downsides. The biggest downside I have is that you have to do all your editing on a phone or an iPad, which is annoying. Hopefully they kind of fix that, come out. I've seen some desktop software, but as of this video, that's not available right now. But that's my only real hang up, just because it's not as powerful as a computer and I like to edit really fast. But other than that, everything is really great with the camera, and I'm able to pull off some amazing footage with it. So I'm going to detail 5 tips that I think will actually improve all of your video editing if you're using the Insta360 One X. So let's get right into it. Okay, tip number 1, get yourself the selfie stick. Okay, it might seem pretty obvious, but get yourself the selfie stick, put a small mini tripod on there. This is from the Zion Crane 2. I don't care which one you use, just don't use the Gorilla Pod, because that one's not exactly straight all the time. Get one that locks in and is real flat and straight. Highly recommend that. And then put a little ball head on this. Let's see if I zoom in there. Put a little ball head on this, and that's also very helpful. And the reason being is because, like in this video where I'm riding my bike, I'm holding it out. I think it's best to tilt the camera up and point it at yourself if you want the best results. So highly recommend getting that ball head. Even though it's a 360 camera, you always want to point the camera at yourself for the best quality video and everything. So highly recommend making this little setup right here. I like the selfie stick, it's worth it. And again, you can't always set it down, so get a little tripod for it. And then lastly, again, the ball head. So that's tip number 1, this little setup. As I get further into these tips, some of these you might think I'm crazy, but trust me, they're all pretty awesome. Okay, tip number 2, get neat video. Okay, it sounds pretty obvious, but the thing is, if you own an Insta360 One X, if you own the DJI Osmo Pocket, a Micro Four Thirds camera, a GoPro, anything with a small sensor, get neat video. Neat video basically cleans up all of your imagery by filling in all the gaps, you know, so all this stuff that, you know, causes a lot of noise in your footage. This Insta360 One X, even outdoors, has noise in the footage, and you have to clean that up. And the only way you're really going to be able to do that is with the plugin Neat Video. It's $75. I've recommended it before. I highly recommend it if you own the Insta360 One X. Tip number 3. Your audio is going to suck on the Insta360 One X. Okay, so if you're big on audio, or audio is going to be a big part of whatever you're using it for, I mean, everybody uses it for different things. For me, I think I'm going to set it up and kind of do some demonstrations from far away. So what I decided to do was hook on a microphone onto my shirt, run that through my shirt, plug it into a separate recorder, and I record my audio separately. This 360 camera being the newest one, and I'm thinking of linking it up to this type of audio, and I'm testing out that audio right now. Okay, it seems like it's a lot of extra work. It's really not that big of a deal. Once you set that up, all you got to really do is take your audio track, take the same audio track from your Insta360. Before you start doing anything, clap 1 time. That'll give you a sharp spike in your audio. Just match that up, get rid of your Insta360 One X audio, and just use the other audio from there on out in your editing. Might seem complicated. I highly recommend it because the audio on this thing is not fantastic unless you're indoors or something, and even then, it's really not that phenomenal. I was out riding my bike and I was like, I knew it was gonna suck, but I just wanted to see how bad it was gonna be, and pretty much unusable. So, that all said, I highly recommend recording your audio separately on a separate recorder and then matching it up in the editing. So That's tip number 3. Tip number 4 may not be for everybody, right? It's about your editing process. Now, everybody's using the Insta360 One X in different ways. For me, I want to use it in 16:9 video. So I edit in 16:9, right? That said, I think that's the best format to edit in if you're going to put it obviously in a 69:9 video. But then when you click on here, you go to Viewfinder and it'll automatically start a little punched in. I would bring it back to about 75% ish area instead of zoomed in on 100 all the way. Your image will actually look better if it's zoomed back a little bit, okay? So I highly recommend starting there. Not only that, I highly recommend using a chair to do your video editing. It might seem stupid, I know you're thinking seriously, but no, seriously, okay? Instead of standing around doing all your viewfinding and moving around like this, sit down in a chair and do it, okay? So as you hold it, okay? It's a much more smoother process. You'll have better editing throughout your whole video. Do it once standing up, do it once sitting down. Trust me when I recommend using a chair to edit 360 videos. And when I say a chair, obviously I mean like one that swivels in a full 360. Anyway. Okay, and tip number 5 is not for everybody. I hope these tips were helpful for you guys, but this last one is just maybe for certain individuals. I actually think it's really cool. So a few years back, I built this. This is a backpack with an extension to go over your back and give you a third-person view, okay? Seems really dumb, seems really weird. I'll link below what you need to do to make the video. So I didn't actually invent this, someone else did. I thought it was pretty clever. What they were doing was putting a GoPro on the top of it. It was cool, but I never felt the GoPro was stable enough, and sometimes it wouldn't be pointing the direction I wanted it to, stuff like that. Well, maybe the new GoPros it'll work for, but the Insta360 One X, it works perfectly for, okay? All you have to do is put a little ball head at the top of it, which I didn't do in this video where I'm riding my bike. But other than that, you get like this third-person perspective, and you don't have to have any hands-on with the actual camera. You just throw it on your back and walk around. To build this whole thing costs $15 in pieces and supplies, and everything's in the video, okay? And this backpack is a camel pack. You can get these like used at like Goodwill and stuff. These things are cheap, okay? So you just throw that in there, and you can throw this on your back. And I know it sounds crazy, but you'll actually get this third-person perspective, and you can look around and everything. Will it look stupid on your back? Absolutely. You're not going to be picking up any girls with this thing. But, you know, I just care about the way my videos look. So if I ever want to shoot something with this unique perspective, if I ever want to do something hands-off, maybe I'm climbing a mountain, riding a bike, or I just want something cool, like, you know, I'm going to shoot a Nerf video and I want everything from that perspective, try this out. It's actually really cool. And that's it. Yeah, so I've already gotten into all that stuff with my 360 One X, and I'm loving it. So that all said, I hope these 5 tips were helpful for you guys. I hope you got something from one of these, and that's about it from me. See you guys on the next one.